Alright, so here we are in Rube's basement. We are preparing for a little mini tournament on February 22nd. 1,600 points, playing on a 4x4, so we're testing out some rules as well as the amount of terrain that we're using and stuff. So we decided how we're going to do terrain is we're going to have 4 pieces of terrain. We're going to divide the board into 4 quadrants, and you pick your terrain and it has to go in one of those quadrants. So I put this one as far up as I could. Steve put woods way back there. He had in this quadrant, chose this march, which is dangerous terrain we're calling it, and moved it way up, and I took this hill and moved it way up. And on my side here we have Capticus again, and we have the Luminarch, the Stubborn Knights. I chose for this battle report a level 1 of fire. We got the steam tank, we got 50 halberdiers and 2 detachments of 5 archers. We got the BSB in there, and warrior priest. We got level 2 on metal, and the demigryphs with the musician. And that's it. And what you got, Steve? We'll start over here on your left.
Over here I have lead belchers, regular ogres, iron guts with my bruiser, ogres with a butcher, and some Mornfang cavalry.
And the Mornfang cavalry, I'm going to zoom in on this guy because he's your champion, right? Yeah. All of his units have full command, but he's got this Hydra model for his champion. That's pretty cool. And Steve won roll for first turn. So we're going to pause it, and I'm running out of battery, so I'm going to plug this baby in, and we'll see what evil Steve has in store for me. We'll get back. All right, in movement phase, Steve ran those guys up and passed his dangerous terrain, and everybody else just moved up, and the Mornfang have the swiftest banner. Yeah. So would you say they're movement 9?
That's what it says.
No, movement 9. Movement 9 Mornfang. Really? All right, we're on to magic. Okay, so in magic phase, we tried to get some rolls off here, but he cast Toothcracker, and this is why I love these dice. 1, 2, 3, 4 6s. Take that! Anyways, okay, nothing went off in magic, movement magic, and shooting. You probably don't have any, because you marched with those guys, right? Alright, so we're on to my turn. Alright, so in movement, Pegasus tried charging those belchers. I only needed an 8, and my highest roll was a 4, so he just stumbled 4. Luminarch turn to get a shot on the Mornfang. These guys just reformed like that. Steam tank went up 1. I'm going to shoot the cannon. Archers ran up. These archer detachment ran up. Mornfang went back. Lower metal guy moved over there. And these guys moved back 2 inches. Move magic, we're on to shooting. Awesome, furnace just kicked on. So magic phase, failed to cast. Yep, rolled a 3 for the Luminarch. And then he dispelled with dice my Searing Doom against his Mornfang over there. So we're on to movement magic. We just did. Now shooting. Alright, so in the massive shooting phase, cannon picks off an ogre, and then the blind archers ran up. Out of all 5 shots, I hit like 4 times, didn't I? Something crazy like that. Wounded once, and got a wound through. So movement magic shooting, no hand-to-hand this turn. Steve's turn 2. Alright, so they moved up. They completed the charge against the blind archers. They got that wrap over their eyes, so we joked that they didn't see that charge coming. They moved up, and Mornfang failed their charge. Needed a 9, right? Is that what you needed a 10 to get in? And he rolled 2, 2, 1. Anyways, and we're on to magic. In magic phase, Steve cast spell Irresistible and made those guys stubborn, but did 5 wounds to the unit in the miscast and drained all the rest of the dice from the pool. So that's movement. We did magic. Shooting. Here we go. Back over here. Alright, so in shooting, they rolled up 10 shots. Did 5 hits, 5 wounds, and 4 wounds. And I saved all but 1. So Capticus has a wound on him, and we're on to hand-to-hand, which is there. This is not an ogre bull charge. Alright, so the blind archers, he charges in. And yeah, the blind archers do 2 wounds. And 1 ogre had a wound on him, so killed 1. And then the tyrant came back and killed 3. And then the rest of the unit slaughtered them. And he did overrun far enough to get into the stank. So there you go. Alright, that's it. Alright, so over here, Capticus kicks his horse in gear, gets in there. Stubborn Knights get in there. Luminarch moved up just a bit. And archers moved up there to redirect them, and demigryphs and lower metal mage moved back. Movement, we're on to magic. Yeah, and so in magic phase I rolled double 1s, and I channeled once, but on 3 dice I couldn't roll a 10 to Searing Doom those Mornfang. So movement magic shooting, We got some archers that can shoot. So we skipped the shooting phase because the blind archers did nothing there. And you would think I'd learned this lesson from before, but my BSB is too far away from my rerollable 8 stubborn knights, so now they're not rerollable. And of course they failed. Capsicus took another wound, overran and killed those guys. Steam Tank took a wound, and I did 5, but he's still steadfast, so he's stuck on his 8. The question keeps coming up, why I keep bringing it up. Steam Tank's in combat, and I'm grinding, but that goes in my movement phase. I don't know if that counts towards combat resolution or not. We've been playing that it does, because it seems to make sense that it would be that way. But let us know for sure. We looked up in the rules and couldn't really find anything. Now this is Steve's turn 3. Alright, so movement, he he charged the knights here. And then they had to flee. They fled through my fire mage, fled off the board. These guys just stuck on, redirected in a Luminarch, but came up just an inch short. These guys charged here, and he attempted another charge. He had a 6, and I couldn't see his other dice, and it was a 4. He needed 11 to get into the dummies. Anyways, on to Ogre Magic. Alright, so those guys are +1 toughness, and I dispelled the stubborn on that because I thought he was going to make them stubborn. That was magic. Shooting, no more shooting. Hand in hand for ogres. Alright, so yep, you obliterated those guys, and Steam Tank took 5 wounds. God, that's a lot. That's a lot. I think you had 3 guys, you had 10. That's a lot. That's really good hitting. Because you have 10 regular attacks.
These guys?
Yeah, him. Hold on. Yeah,
4
so
4.
he had 10 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, and I get 4 up armor, so out of 10 attacks, he does 5 wounds.
-3.
-3, yeah, that's... So you need 4s, and then I need to roll 4s. And out of all that, you should have done like maybe 2 wounds. Those guys are eager for some Empire shit. So, on to my turn 3. Okay, Luminarch comes crashing into the side there, and Captasis comes up on the hill. Halberdiers make their no-roll charge into there, and the Demigryphs, needing an 8 on 3 dice, rolled the worst thing that I could roll. I rolled a 6, and then a 2 and a 2. So they go forward 6, making it super easy for them to get in.
1 and a 1.
Yeah, 6. Was it 6-1-1?
Yeah, the 6 for 2, you would have made it.
Oh, that's right, because it would have been 8. Yeah, it was 6-1-1. Unbelievable. But maybe we can Final Trans or Searing Doom them or something. And we'll get back, hopefully for a big magic phase. So I thought magic would be so awesome. And I roll 6 dice at a boosted version of Searing Doom against the Mournfang. And on 6 dice plus his level, I rolled a 16 total. You've never seen so many ones before in your life. So magic was a bust, and the Demigryphs are going to get their charge, and the Mournfang are going to have their way. Alright, that's it for there. And, oh, I forgot, start a turn for the Steam Tank. We'll roll that on camera. Okay, I got an 8. I'm over my limit, so I have to check what I'm going to do. So over here, the Luminarch charges in. We actually win combat on this one. Steam Tank's up to 7 wounds. Put a wound on the Luminarch. And you're steadfast 8, right?
Yeah.
Steadfast 8 and failed it. And then the Luminarch caught him, so that's cool. And then over here, you would think that 30 some odd attacks with hatred from the warrior priest would just mutilate that ogre unit, but I did 5 wounds to him, he did 5 wounds back, and he was double ones and didn't make it. You rolled 3 to flee, and I rolled 4 to catch. So this is your turn 4, I believe, coming up. Yeah. And then kiss the Demigryphs goodbye. Let's see, that's what we've been waiting for. So ogres make it into the Steam Tank. They could just barely see them. And then, of course, the Mournfang, this titanic battle here. I'm going to zoom in here. They've been itching to get into these demis the whole game long, and top of 4. The demis just look way overmatched. That's just sick. Alright, well, movement. You have magic left? You have any magic? He's dead. Magic user's dead. Magic shooting, no shooting. We're in a hand-to-hand. Hold on, Steam Tank. So they take the charge. They get 2 wounds. They give the Mournfang a wound. They're testing on a 5, and they get it. Then over here, it kind of bounced off the Steam Tank, didn't you? But you did a wound.
Yeah, I did one.
Did a wound. So it's a bottom of 4. Alright, so magic, Capticus charges the rear, turned around, reformed into bus, and they're sitting there. And that's it. We're on to Magic. Alright, so Steve was steadfast on a 7, failed it, and Capticus ran him down. And then over here in hand-to-hand, I did 2 to him, and he did 2 to me. And we're off to his turn 5. Nothing, no movement, no magic, no shooting, no hand-to-hand. So, or we have this hand-to-hand, so we'll roll this off. So, yeah, there we go. Mornfang proved to be too much for the dummies. And they're there, bottom of 5. Alright, so this is all Steve's got on the table. I came in. He did 5 to me. I did 1 wound to him. I was 8 to 5 combat res. He's testing on a 3. And he got it. But he didn't test to reform. So Steve's turn 6 right now. And nothing else is going on. I got no magic that can help except for my warrior priest. Claiming this quadrant for 2 points. Claiming that quadrant for 2 points. Steam Tank's over here for 1. I got 1 for there. And Steve's still in my deployment zone, so he'll pick up 2 for there. But we got his turn 6. Alright, top of 6. Steve's Mornfang finally failed their leadership 5 after this. He did 3 more wounds to me. He failed leadership 5, and that's it. He should be dead. I got really lucky breaking your, what were your leadership 8 with your general, your bruiser there? Got really lucky, that guy breaking in the chariot, running far enough to get out of the way. Really lucky that the your didn't do the last wound on that guy.
Yeah.
That was huge. I think after game thoughts, for me anyways, I think instead of having a level 1 of fire, I think I may go level 1 of life to heal up the Steam Tank and maybe regrow wounds on my Capticus and stuff. What are you thinking for yours?
Yeah,
Standard? Find some way to fit a standard in there? For sure.
I'd probably take out the Butcher, because really my magic didn't really help me too much.
But I was playing a magic defensive heavy. I mean, the Luminar gives me +1 to dispel. That's huge, and I got 3 channels.
Even that, I was rolling pretty well, like 4 mine, but you were rolling bad for yours, so I could see it. But I think with everything being combat, just run up, do as much damage as I can. Hope to survive.
That stubborn is good, though. Would you think maybe putting on your bruiser, putting that crown of command on him for 50 points so he doesn't run away?
Possibly.
Because I don't know what your bruiser's kitted out with, but you know, even if you had a great weapon plus your magic, I do like the magic though. If you can at least stop, like if you didn't have any magic at all, you know, I might. Well, you wouldn't get that +2. I don't know if that ever really came into play, having a +2 to dispel or not.
I think you just rolled really bad for
I
yours.
did. I really did. I sucked. I rolled, but we do know that Demigryphs might be able to stand up to Mornfang charge, but in the long run, they're just going to get killed. But they held up for long enough to get the state troops over there.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're going to do. I think this is a good idea too. With 4 pieces of terrain, 1 in each quadrant's cool.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have ginormous footprints, and these don't, you know. And then how do you feel about a unit with fortitude being in the deployment zones, given
I like it.
this? Because it forces you to, it forces you to get something over. Do you think we should contest? Like if you have troops here,
I'd say if you have one and I have one, then it's a wash.
Right.
But like this would be yours, this would be yours, that'd be yours, and that if my guys were still there, then
oh, and you know what? The Luminarch, if we're still calling it like a fortitude, so it'd have to be a character, or not even of any character. I think it's got to be general and BSB. Be general, BSB, or something with a banner. So he's my general, so he could score, but he couldn't score,
Okay.
and the Steam Tank couldn't score. So this thing could score, and if you were still on the table, you'd be contesting that. But see, part of me thinks you made it across the table. If you got this, you get +1. If I'm contesting this, you should still get 1 instead of me getting 1 and you getting 2. Because contesting, it's easy to contest, but you should still get at least 1 more than me. Maybe we should get rid of contesting. If you make it all the way across the table and you're there, I shouldn't be able to take that away from you just because I'm there, because my side of the table is worth 2 to you.
true.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so no contest. So I would get 1, you would get 2. That one wouldn't score, he would score. So I'll have to write that up for the list and stuff. Anyways, that's it for that. We'll try to get this posted now that the computer's working again and figure out how else we're going to do scoring. That's it. Thanks for watching.